concept, in my opinion. But those people that are just perpetuating it, that's all they do, when in fact you really don't see any results from the hustle and grind, it creates an interesting dynamic, if you will.
Sure. It's definitely in our culture for sure. And it's questionable. I've personally taken a step back just very recently, not even motivated to pursue the 80-hour work week. Still like to work hard, but I do another program every other week, and that was actually the focus of conversation is the hustle and grind mentality and kind of culture, that lifestyle, is it even is it worth it? So
right, it's crazy.
I like that you put that in there. Well, listen, we're live on the air, so say hello to YouTube land if you like.
Hey, everybody.
We are right here, AC on air. Today is Wednesday, the 29th of May, actually. And I was just talking with Eric Miltsch, and you've got James Klaus up here from Dealer Teamwork. So welcome, guys. Great to have you here.
Thanks for having us, Ryan.
Really appreciate it.
So we were just kind of looking at some of the show notes that we plan on talking about, and we were talking about a piece that was in one of Eric's articles. He does a predictions for the auto industry every year. So we're going to bring that up in a few moments. But happy Hump Day, everybody, and happy International Put a Pillow on Your Fridge Day. That is our special day today. You know what, guys? When I was doing some research, and I put a link in the show notes I sent you, I found a post from Dealer Fire from 2013 about put a pillow on your fridge day. I don't know if you caught that. Let me see if I can get it.
I did see that. I heard about it before, but I honestly don't remember what it references.
Here, let me put it up right here. There you go. So 2013, I've never even heard of put a pillow on your fridge day. But legend has it that before refrigerators, it was traditional to put a cloth in the cooler, in the larder, for one day on May 29th as basically to spread good luck within the household. And that's led to today of put a pillow on your fridge day. Pretty weird, huh? I like it.
It's interesting. I think Eric, if anybody, would appreciate putting a pillow close to his refrigerator.
That's the optimal setup for me.
Well, good stuff. So listen, here we are. We do this once a week. So welcome back. If you're watching the live stream, maybe you're listening on the podcast. Great to have you here on the podcast. Maybe you're watching the video replay. If you have not done so yet, get out your phones, text the keyword autoconverse to 64600, and we'll send this show to your phone 5-10 minutes before we go live. If you can't make the live stream, that's fine. You can always catch the video replay on your own time. Shouts out to our guests last week. We had Dane Seville from Reunion Marketing. James, I think you probably have a little rapport with Dane. You know him, right?
Love Dane. Love those guys. Congratulations to our friends at Reunion Marketing on their 4th year anniversary. We are they're buddies of ours. We pal around. We joke around. We are great people. We were actually on your show at Innovative Dealer Summit.
Yes. Well, Dane didn't sit in on that. It was you and Chad. It was you and Chad. Now that I think about it.
It was fun because we got to talk about, vendors can get along. Vendors can work together. So it was really nice that, you can see two companies that compete that do it the right way.
Sure. There's room for everybody.
Yeah.
Because no one is for everybody. That's for sure. So shouts out Dane for being on last week. Also had Stefan Ferry from Flex Drive. We kind of did a double header for the first time. So talked with Dane about KPI Cafe. And then we talked with Stefan at Flex Drive about their partnership with Lyft and a couple of other announcements that they had. So you can catch that, guys, on the podcast. That is out there. Just go to autoconverse.com/podcast. And thanks to everyone who has already registered so far with the Auto CX Summit series coming up next month as well. More on that later. So Eric, James, couple of things. So you guys have some neat stuff going on at Dealer Teamwork. Eric and I had a really good conversation about a month ago, and you were filling me in, Eric, on your enhanced marketing strategy there at Dealer Teamwork. And I said, we got to get you on the show because I am always looking for not just, future tech or technology and industry stuff, which we're going to talk about, but also looking for things that companies are doing as well, particularly in the space. That's why we had Dane on, because Reunion Marketing is doing KPI Cafe. So really looking forward to that. But first things first, Jeff Bezos was just featured in an article talking about how fascinating he finds the auto industry, and he's looking forward to participating in it. And that comes up so often, is what's Amazon going to do in the auto business? Eric, what are your thoughts on Bezos's comments? And you kind of what's your take on that?
Yeah. First off, thanks for having us on, Ryan. You do a great job with this, and I love your philosophy of bringing the new stuff to the community too. So with that, much like we've done at Dealer Teamwork, address the problem of how are companies, dealerships, obviously, how are dealerships addressing the problem of lead generation? Okay, it's a very simple problem. It's a huge problem, and much like us, I would like to say that Bezos probably is thinking the same way. I don't have all the answers, but I don't think that Bezos wants to sell cars. I think he wants to help create sales opportunities. And that's how we like to position ourselves as well. So he's already demonstrated that with his model. Amazon does a great job of creating sales opportunities, not only for basically anybody that wants to sell something on the platform. Again, very similar to what we're trying to do at Dealer Teamwork, creating a unique, customized, dynamic platform that allows you to be able to reach more people to generate leads. And that's essentially what he's going to do, in my opinion. He's not going to sell the car directly. He's going to create a whole new channel or conduit for the OEMs to be able to do that in a much simpler, more cost-effective, and much more user-friendly manner. That's my thought. What do you think, James?
Well, we all know, Amazon, Hyundai was the first manufacturer to put vehicles on Amazon. Why? Because you can buy the car within 2 clicks. I don't think anybody's bought a car on Amazon yet, but I think that day is coming. But yeah, one thing that was pointed out to me, actually, Ryan, and this actually happened at the Colorado Innovative Dealer Summit that we were both at, was during a presentation, someone pointed out that Amazon does want world domination. They want to be, on the forefront of everything retail. And if you notice the Amazon logo, the smiley face actually goes from A for total world domination. So he wants to own the whole market. So do I think Amazon will be a player? Yes. Will Amazon sell a car? Probably not. But they will be, like Eric said, probably a helpful guide to OEMs, particularly in getting their models out there, getting their new cars out there.
I think it's safe to say, Ryan, that a lot of people might agree with this, that the entire dealer model, the OEM distribution model, retail model, that's a broken model, in my opinion, that needs to change. If you look at, I think last year, Tesla, they had about 5% of the market. And I just shared an interesting data visualization, actually, I think it was last night or this morning on LinkedIn, that shows the rapid rise from 2012 to today of just not only just Tesla, but electric plug-in. And you look at that rise, where, how quickly these, the amount of cars, are part of that. And obviously Tesla as a main portion of that. What percentage of their sales coming from this different distribution model? We'll call it at that.
So I think it's natural, at least for a lot of us that are in the auto retail business, when we think of Amazon, we just think of Amazon selling cars, but they're playing in other ways. So for instance, and this is mentioned in the article, was it last year or 2 years ago? they invested into Aurora, which is a self-driving tech startup. And that's run by former execs from Uber, Google, and Tesla. And then most recently, they've invested into Rivian, which is known for electric trucks. So, Amazon, like you said, James, focused on world domination. They bought a brick and mortar, right? They bought Whole Foods. I wouldn't be surprised if Amazon buys, maybe not AutoNation, but buys a large conglomerate. But until then, or if then, they're investing and they're getting involved with the mobility industry in other ways. I wouldn't be surprised to see them in the mobility as a service business, because that's what Amazon is about. It's about concierge and convenience. So
that's a great point, Ryan, because when you think about one thing that Amazon's done very well, asterisks, I don't think they're making money on this yet, but think about what they figured out: how to get the product to the consumer, getting the product to the consumer. So if Amazon can help automotive retailers figure out how to get their product to consumers in a very easy way, even if it's just delivering a prospect to a dealership, and the dealership can then go to the customer's home and show them the vehicle in an Amazon-esque way in the comfort of your own home, that's where I feel they could really, really help. So you really nailed it there.
Maybe Carvana would be the right fit for them. Was it last week? Yeah, 2 weeks ago, we had Dave Weber on from Relay Cars. And if you're not familiar with Relay Cars, they have a virtual reality and augmented reality apps for consumers to shop for cars. By the way, Eric, whenever I hear augmented reality, I always think of you. It's
why is that?
For some reason, early on when AR kind of started to become a thing, I was trying to blog about it, and you were the only one out there that showed any interest in AR. And I think you had done some piece on it. Maybe you include it in one of your prediction posts, but from that day on, whenever I see AR, you come to mind.
That's fine. Speaking of that, actually, James, you'll appreciate this. Last night at golf, I used an app. Have you heard about this, James? It's called Golf Scope. It's an augmented reality app. So you pull it up, uses your camera, you mark your ball, and then you walk towards the hole, and then you mark the hole, and it scans the green.
It reads the green for you?
That's cool. And it shows you the putt. So very first one, I actually made it to the green, believe it or not. And I was on in 3, I think, on a par 5, and it was a 61-foot putt, and I made it in 2.
Nice.
Yeah, absolutely helped.
Absolutely helps.
Are you bragging about making a par?
Well, I'm not a scratch golfer like you, so that's a big deal.
Just brag about making a par? We'll talk about that offline later.
That's a highlight moment for me.
James, are you known as Birdie Man back in the office?
I like to make birdies. I like to make eagles more, but I like to make birdies.
Well, I love AR, man. I just thought you'd appreciate that, Eric, that you always come to mind when I think
that's
of
funny.
And the Relay Cars app is kind of funny. I was doing it with my 9-year-old, and we were having a blast because you can pick the car, you can place it anywhere, and you can expand the size and spin around it. You can get inside of it. So it's just funny. We had it set up where we were inside the car, and then the dog was lying on the ground. So the dog's face is like right there. So it was almost like this giant dog whose eye is right there on the windshield staring in the car. It's pretty wild. You have to see it to believe it. So speaking of selling cars, Costco has, they've been selling cars through their auto program, I think since 2015 maybe, but they are now at just under 1 million cars a year, about 750,000 cars a year, increased their business 25% over last year of selling cars. So, unlike Amazon, where they got different angles, Costco's, bringing them right there into the, selling them right there through the store. James, you brought up a good point, because I said, from what I understand, Costco's not really profiting from selling cars, which does give them a competitive advantage.
Yeah. So, I mean, when you think about it, even in 2019, 2020, you know, relationships still matter. People like to go with who they trust. And, you know, personally, I have children. I have a 6-year-old daughter and a 4-year-old daughter, so I'm out of diaper time. But when we were buying diapers at our house, we only bought them from Costco. They cornered that market on us. And then we would also buy paper towels from Costco, toilet paper from Costco. So they know the exact hot items for, you know, certain individuals, and they keep you there and they keep you loyal. And I personally call Costco Benjamins, because you can't walk into Costco without at least busting up a Benjamin, if not multiples. But they got that trust. And I don't think that the people that buy cars through the Costco buying network really think they're saving money as much as they know that they have a trusted ally with them throughout the process. A lot like a USAA, where USAA is not always the cheapest rate. USAA is not always, you know, the best financing, the best insurance rates, but their customers are extremely loyal, just like Costco's customers are extremely loyal. And anybody who sat in a finance office like I used to and has tried to convert people from a USAA or a Costco purchase or whatever knows how loyal those people are to those that have been good to them.
You know, Ryan, to that point too, this illustrates a great point to the industry itself in terms of the dealers need to understand not only obviously how buyer behavior is changing, but just the accessibility, the convenience, whatever experience it is. And obviously you got a monster destination in something like Costco. Well, they're playing it right. They're driving people in. You know, they're creating a new lead opportunity, sales opportunity for the dealers that are part of the program. But part of that is that changing behavior. And dealers, if they're not going to, you're not going to fight a monster like that, is my point. You know, there's so many different changes that are happening. I'm not saying it's going to be the end all be all, but the fact that it's happening now, you still have to be able to embrace, you know, test. Google says that all the time. And and on the top of that, measure. And if you're not going to do those simple basic processes and elements of any type of marketing effort, and again, we bake that back into everything that we do within our platform as well, to be able to continuously test, create, obviously, great experiences, but then most importantly, manage that. Does it work? You know, and it's the same mindset that has to be applied. It doesn't matter if it's Costco, you know, what you're doing with us at Dealer Teamwork, or with another vendor, or even something like TrueCar. You know, everybody has varying opinions on it, but the opinion doesn't really matter unless you've actually, you know, tried it, tested it, benchmarked it, all those good things. So
let's use that, guys, kind of to segue into Dealer Teamwork, your marketing strategy to connect with dealers. I should clarify, when I was talking about Costco, the program started in 2008.
Wow.
And they sold just over 200,000 cars. So here we are a decade later, they're at more than 650,000. But their key selling benefit is there's no negotiation. It's a fixed price. They've negotiated that with, I don't know if it's local dealers or the manufacturer. I know
it's a local dealer.
It's local dealers. And Walmart's now in that space too, right? Through CarSaver, as one of our audience members pointed out, they just signed up with Walmart to do CarSaver. So if we, margin compression was kind of a buzzword for the past year. We know that profits or margins in new cars are pretty much gone. So it comes down to bonuses for dealers, and then the used cars and fixed ops. So, Eric, for you guys as Dealer Teamwork, as a provider, and maybe get into a little bit of what specifically Dealer Teamwork does with dealers. What is your angle with dealers to carry them into the near future as it's transforming in front of us?
Well, you said something too that sparked a thought too, just a big red flag. That whole concept of margin compression, I have to say, a lot of that has been precipitated simply by the fact that the dealers have, and I've said this for years, they've stacked products on top of more product, and they're just simply paying more. And then that leads to a lot of wasted spend, whether it's paid search or just, singular, standalone vendors. That's a big driver to that. So that was one of the main things that we tried to really pay attention to at Dealer Teamwork early on, and we still do to this day, is how can we help solve these major problems, look at the changing landscape of the industry. Everybody can remember back, we had what we called the connected economy. And now I've coined this term for us in terms of being in this dynamic, personalized economy. That's exactly what we're participating in. People expect the content to be there, immediately. They want it to be personalized, especially when you're looking to buy something. I don't care what product it is. People want to know how much. If you're going to finance it, they want to know how much that payment's going to be. So what do? We go to our little handheld computers, we search for something, and we expect that answer right away. And we've been able to simply adopt that philosophy within our customized platform again, to be able to put the ease of use, to be able to add relevant dynamic content into our platform and easily send it out and share it and publish it, syndicate it, whatever you want to call it, to be able to push it out to customers anywhere, anytime, on any device, and be able to make that very easy process, a very easy process for dealers. Because what's the biggest problem they have? It's merchandising their vehicles in real time with transactional pricing and data. So that was the concept that we tried to embrace, and that's what we've been able to to really, really push forward in terms of saying, look, old school marketing is over here. That's what we were doing. A lot of people don't really understand, unfortunately, what the problems they've experienced. Basically, Ryan, because the technology didn't exist, and we created something brand new. It's patented. Nothing else like this exists. And so we've been able to, really take some time to, to educate dealers on this. So that's where we've come, and that's the message that we're trying to get out there. That there's old school marketing has got to stop. Now we're looking at a new world of this dynamic, personalized economy, and this is the way that you can operate faster, easier. Eliminate the wasted spend and create more sales opportunities with a unique tool like this.
Now on your website, you have MPOP. Is that what you're referring to?
MPOP. So that's our branded name for that. So James, I'll let you talk about the MPOP. The MPOP, Ryan, in short, it was that's our marketing designation for the platform. We were new. People didn't know us. We had to brand ourselves, and it was a brilliant idea. And Sean Stapleton helped with that initially as well. And we wanted to be able to create something to get somebody's attention, to be able to understand what it is. So with that, I'll turn it over to James, and he can talk a little bit more about what the MPOP does. And he's a perfect resource for that. I don't know if a lot of people know this. James was one of our first dealers on it as well. Loved it so much, packed up his family, moved to Minneapolis, and now he's one of our major rock stars in the company. So, James,
start by defining, what does MPOP stand for?
Yeah, MPOP stands for a merchandising personalization optimization platform.
Okay.
A lot of big and fancy words that we always joke that if you see Sean, our CEO, Stapleton, if you see Stapes out in public, ask him to spell MPOP, but spell it out. It's always a fun activity to do. But what it does is literally the name. So we merchandise, personalize, and optimize a dealer's products and services for search engines, for social media, for email campaigns. So the reason I was drawn to dealer teamwork, which will kind of tie into what exactly we do, was I remember a specific conversation I was having with a very, very good friend of mine, Cody Jerry. And Cody at the time was doing a lot of SEO for my dealership. He works for a company called Search Engines MD, big fan of them. And I was looking at our paid search, and he wasn't my paid search vendor at the time. And I was seeing high bounce rates. I was seeing abandonment rates on our sites. Then I'd look at my social campaigns, and I do a lot of videos and those types of things for social, targeted posts. And I was noticing high abandonment rate on the sites from those. And I was talking, and I said, why don't I have a spot on my website that's built to capture the traffic from these marketing campaigns? And he goes, have you heard of dealer teamwork? And not maybe 20 minutes later, I get a call from Stapleton. I don't know if his ears were ringing or what was going on. And he was like, you got to try my new platform. And I did. And it created all the pages I needed on my website to increase engagement. So when they saw a social media campaign that had maybe a Ford F-150 Shelby offer, like a super fancy high-end truck, and I take them to an inventory page, well, they bounce. But when I took them to a customized landing page that was built on the dealer URL with proper optimization and offers, all of a sudden they were converting, they were calling, and all that wasted spend started going away. So I freaked out, got really excited, showed this to everybody in my 20 group, and the next thing you know, I'm with the Ford Dealer Council and at FDAF meetings, traveling all over the Pacific Northwest, showing off this MPOP thing. And I'm a dealer. It wasn't even my product. That's when I decided to move my family across the country because it was going back. But it allowed us to push out via email, push out via paid search, push out via social media, paid and organic ads, and then to create a long-term sustainability on your site by driving traffic to optimize landing pages that then rank, boost your SEO value, increase your organic entrances, and really evolve with the times, which is really, really fun.
So personalization is really the kind of the essence or the foundation of MPOP. And it's about getting personalized content distributed to the right person and at the right time, so that's personalized and relevant.
Yeah, and then think through more than just getting the click or getting them to visit your site. What do they want to see when they get there? Think about user experience.
Yeah,
got this in automotive. Google says in their rules, match your ads to landing pages. Unfortunately, no one matches their ads to landing pages. So we broke it on, rule number 3 we couldn't get right in automotive. I don't know why. Probably because it required a 4-letter word, work. Landing page is a lot of work. So solve that problem and then boom, just massive growth. Obviously, we're very blessed. So we're very happy. And then we're constantly evolving. Like, I don't think it goes 10 minutes in my office without somebody jumping in from our development department, from our strategic department, from anyone with a new idea. And it's, what are we going to do on Facebook Marketplace? What are we doing with Facebook retargeting? What are we doing with, catalog ads? What's producing more, the model-specific landing page or the leaderboard page? And we're constantly A/B testing and evolving, which our dealers love because we're always coming to them with fresh.
Ryan, it comes back to that concept I said before of, what are dealers actually doing to generate their leads? And there's a big difference that I'd like to make sure that the community understands is that, again, you have platforms that you can build upon, or you have these standalone products. And again, not knocking anything, it's just there's a lot of these individual products that are just bolted onto the website. They may help with some type of conversion, but you're still not addressing the problem that the dealers face with regards to how are we going to generate the lead. That goes all the way back to how you started the original call, the original video, Ryan, with regards to how are we going to generate leads, using something like Costco. That's the main thing that every dealer needs to address. How are you going to be able to create leads efficiently at scale to merchandise all of your vehicles, make them relevant, and make sure that really at the end of the day, what are we doing? We're making enough relevant content that the search engines can find so it matches whatever the intent or the query is of the shopper. Because people do what? Every single day, thousands of times. They pick up their phone, they do a Google search to solve a problem, which is answering a question. Well, Google can only answer that question based on how well they can match their algorithm and their, all the brains behind the scenes to the content that's actually available. Well, as dealers as a whole, we can agree that we're not very good at creating the relevant content, mainly because the tools and the resources never existed before.
Sure.
So we had to start there. Let's create the tools that allow people to do it faster at scale for all vehicles so that Google has enough data so that their machine can be fed. Now, Ryan, we get to the end of that equation. And what happens is the customer goes in and searches for Toyota Camry, lease, finance, whatever it may be. And if they're looking for a lease price, what do they want? They want a lease price. They're looking for an answer to that because Google knows what their intent is. And we've just made it easy for them to be able to create the content, feed the machine so that they can show it to buyers. It's as simple as that. So I struggle to make it even any simpler than that unless you have a brilliant way to describe that.
Well, let's do this. I love the, we all want to get deeper into that. I do have one very simple question related to dealer teamwork, and then I want to get into your automotive predictions article. We're at the bottom of the hour. So folks, I know I typically do a hard stop at the bottom of the hour, but hang with us here because we're going to get into Eric's automotive predictions. But Just one last question related to dealer teamwork. So MPOP, was that either by name or by concept part of the original, I think, idea behind forming dealer teamwork, or is dealer teamwork and MPOP today something that you kind of evolved into after you formed the company?
No, the dealer teamwork was created initially. And sorry, Ryan, my dogs are barking in the background if you can hear them. So I'll let James. The MPOP was branded afterwards. It was something we created. So James, I'll let you explain a little bit more about that.
But
too.
Was the idea behind MPOP, as far as a personalized distributed platform kind of turnkey solution, was that why you formed Dealer Teamwork?
Yeah, I mean, basically, we were trying to solve a massive problem. The original idea actually was born out of a dealership. That was one of our original partners, or two of our original partners, Dan and Pat, Dan Mondello and Pat Walker. They created a problem to be able. They created a solution to be able to solve a problem for something that the dealership had. And then at the time, it was just a little bolt-on, solution to be able to build and scale the specials. And then from there, we realized, wait a minute, there's a lot more to this. And we saw the forest for the trees. And we said, no, you know what? Not only can we create and distribute to the website, what if we connected these other marketing channels? And then once we had that concept, then we built the idea for the MPOP. And that's, now it's like I said before, it's an organic platform that just continues to grow and improve with all these great ideas from the entire company. And quite honestly, a lot of these ideas, came from people like James, the dealers that use it.
Well, cool. All right. So good stuff. I'm going to put us right into your 2019, your 15 automotive predictions, folks. This is something Eric does every year for about the past 7 or 8 years, I believe. And I'm going to scan through some of the things that he brings up in here. We'll talk about one or two just for a couple of minutes, and love to get your guys' feedback. So at the top of the list, we have marketing automation will make everyone happier. Be curious if that's if you mean that's a myth or a prediction. Last click attribution will be put out to pasture. Digital retailing will continue to confuse shoppers and vendors. Great subject there. We could do a show out of each of these. Tesla will add more pressure to the market. Electric vehicle performance will improve. Smart speakers will impact local SEO efforts. We've talked about that on a couple different episodes about voice search specifically. Service conquest campaigns will crush competition, and mentally promoting extreme working hours will run its course. That's what we were talking about when we started off the show. So James, pick one thing in here that interests you the most.
So the one that interests me the most that I've never really understood was the concept of bragging about working 80, 90 hours a week. So I come from a retail setting, 16 years retail automotive, working very long hours. And one thing that I learned from all that was it doesn't help. My top producers at my stores that were working, 50 hours a week, that were selling 30 cars a month, they worked 70 hours a week. They weren't selling anymore. They were just angry, and the constant idea, like me and Eric talk about, of working all the time and never recharging your batteries, bragging that you never took a vacation and bragging that you never take a day off, it doesn't play. That's not healthy. It's not the life I personally want. Do I work a lot? Yes, I work a lot. Do I have fun with my kids and my wife, my family, et cetera? Yes. So that shouldn't be devalued. It shouldn't be devalued when a person takes a day off to spend time with their children. That should be applauded in our society. Looked at as a negative, like, oh my gosh, James took off Thursday to chaperone at the zoo for his kid's field trip. Should be, heck yeah, I took off Thursday to chaperone my kid's field trip, because guess what happens on Friday? On Friday, I come in, my batteries are recharged, my why. I was just at Mark Tewert's event in Cincinnati, and he talked a lot about his why. Like, why do you wake up and do this every day? Well, if you never take time to smell the roses, and you never take time to spend time with your family, you forget your why, and it turns you very angry. Eric and I have had some very long conversations about some things that have happened with Eric over the last year that have changed his why and changed his whole outlook out in the world. So this whole grind, I don't think the guys that actually grind are really putting it out there, and the ones that are just, maybe kidding themselves a little bit.
The people that are actually grinding and hustling, you don't hear from them.
Good point.
Who's got time to do that all day?
I wonder that about social. I mean, a lot of people say to me, wow, Ryan, you're all over social media. And it's funny. I'm always publishing content, but I don't feel like I engage as much as I'd like to on social media because I don't have the time. And I don't know how people have the time to do the things that they do on social media. It's crazy.
And here's a simple trick, Ryan. If you want to create the perception of hustling and grinding, at least do it smart and schedule some posts through Hootsuite or IFTT or whatever, and just publish the stuff automatically. That goes back up to the previous prediction up there is, leverage automation, automate everything. James knows it. I've got the same tweet that's gone out for 5 years, probably every Monday morning at 7:30. Happy Monday, everybody. And there's a bunch of other positive stuff like that. I don't do that every Monday at 7:30. I've automated that, and it's just a simple, ridiculous example, but everybody else can learn from those examples too. And I know a lot of people use it, but if you're gonna personify that idea of your hustling and grinding, at least do it smart and automate it.
So when you say marketing automation will make everyone happier, are you being facetious or are you being?
No, I'm being absolutely dead on serious with that topic. And again, that's a passive play, obviously, back to what we do at Dealer Teamwork, because we are a marketing automation tool. We're a very dynamic, easy to use marketing automation platform. So being able to understand, again, going back to my original concept, Brian, if you're going to try to market and merchandise and distribute all of your vehicles, that's physically impossible for a dealer that's probably any more than 25 vehicles in stock. You can find if you're a small independent dealership, but you get 200, 300, 400 or more cars on the ground. Try doing that. Try building 185 ads, paid ads for each individual vehicle that you have in stock. And then on top of that, try to change the pricing in those ads,
right?
In real time for every vehicle, every single day. It's not humanly possible. So that's what I mean by, people need to understand A, what marketing automation is, B, and what it can do for you, and B, what that change means in terms of, changing your old school habits from these manual, hands-on type of approaches to something that's automated that can create much more efficiency. And with that comes obviously more sales opportunities. You want more revenue while also having the opportunity to reduce expenses.
Let's put you to the test here. So to close out the show, electric vehicle performance will improve. I haven't read what you're talking about in here. Why don't you give us the I guess the summary of what you're getting at here?
Yeah, the TLDR on that one is very simply, what's going to happen is the key and the code to battery creation or battery technology is going to continuously improve, and that's the secret sauce in my opinion. Look at it like this: Tesla is not an automotive company; they're a battery company. As soon as they crack the code on how to make batteries more efficient and more powerful, and be able to do them, do it as a business much more efficiently as well, then they will crack the code, in my opinion. And so with that are going to come much more improvements to that entire industry. I noted in there, I believe it said that, I think they're saying in Germany, they're going to, the prediction is that the internal combustion engine will no longer be produced. Now, that's a significant change. If we're not going to make combustion engines anymore, well, obviously we got to look and see, and what's causing that. So as the battery technology improves, there's another truck I mentioned in there. I think it's the Riva, I believe. Not only that, but it's a truck that'll crush Stapleton's Raptor. It'll make it look like a Toyota Camry, but there's a lot of great things coming. The Rivian R1T, crazy, 750 horsepower. 0 to 60 in 3 seconds in a pickup truck. Sign me up.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Tesla, had the blueprint for the Dream truck, which sounded great in theory, but I don't think he's been able to get the resources behind it. And I think Rivian, isn't that the company we mentioned that Amazon's behind, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah. And there's also Thor is out there as well. So I'll tell you what, the trucking industry as a whole, I find is a fascinating place. We just had a guest on a little more than a month ago coming from the trucking industry. You know, you've got self-driving trucks on their way, electric trucks getting, being innovated. There's a shortage of drivers right now, a drastic shortage of drivers. It's a fascinating industry to be in right now. So I think you're spot on with this prediction here. And I also noticed in here, you mentioned that Tesla is expected to beat out the U.S. luxury brands in the next year. So you're talking about Infinity. I'm sorry, not Infinity. You're talking about what Acura, Cadillac, and Lincoln. Who are you referring to here?
Yeah, just the U.S. based brands. Those are great examples of it. They've actually already beaten certain segments. I believe that the Model S last year, fourth quarter, beat all BMW brands, all models combined.
Okay.
So, interesting little tidbits like that are happening. And then again, the industry needs to be aware of this. There's a lot of changes, but again, the opportunity exists for the dealers to be one step ahead. Look at the progressive changes that are out there. There's people like us, trying to help the dealers move ahead. Again, getting rid of that margin compression, doing things a little bit more efficient, help eliminate the wasted spend, and be more effective to create sales opportunities, at the right price, and not just pay. Not just throw good money after bad. And that's unfortunately that's been the dynamic, Ryan. That's what's happened. James, you saw it. I mean, you still see it with the dealers. We do audits weekly for dealers across the country, Ryan. And by the way, that's something you can offer up to your audience. We will be more than happy to do a free evaluation to demonstrate the differences that we're seeing. Because again, a lot of the dealers might not be thinking the way that we're thinking and seeing the things that we're seeing. And at the very least, Ryan, the dealer will walk away saying, "Hey, you know what? I never even noticed that before." And that's something that we'd at least like to be able to bring to the surface. So
great. So why don't you go ahead and I guess wrap up with that? You're offering to do an evaluation for dealers to help them see what.
Yeah, we'll show them a few different key points in terms of what are the missing elements on their site. It could be just missing pages, missing opportunities with regards to landing pages. It could be on-page conversion optimization. It could be just on-page search engine optimization as well. Different things like different things like the content that's being used, the integration, or the lack of integration into a fully holistic type of marketing approach. We like to call it an omnichannel approach. So little things like that, and the little things that the dealers may be missing, that we'll be able to point out. And again, it's a very, very exhaustive review that we do, and we can offer that out to your viewers. And again, if nothing else, I guarantee you, and I challenge someone to take the offer, and I guarantee you that I will be able to pinpoint something that you have never seen before within your own website experience. So, and if I'm wrong, I'll buy them a steak dinner.
There you go. Nice. Well, good. Well, folks, if you're listening to this now or on the replay, take Eric and James up on their offer. Let them do an evaluation. I've got the website up here. I hit schedule a demo. You can tell them you heard about us from our show, and they'd like that as well. So, James, Eric, really pleasure having you on here. I really appreciate it. Welcome back anytime. Obviously, we could be up here for 3 hours, I'm sure.
Absolutely. Love talking to you, Ryan. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Ryan, for having us on. It's a pleasure.
My pleasure. So we'll let you guys go. You can go and shut off your cameras if you like. I'll do a quick wind down and then just hang tight there. So I'm going to reshare my screen, folks. A couple of things. So we've worked it out with the Thought Leadership Summits to extend the 20% off registration through the end of this week. So you still have a couple more days now to get 20% off the one or both of the summits, the Auto CX Summit Series, which are next month in Marina del Rey. This is one of the hidden gems here in the auto industry. It's the 15th annual Customer Experience Summit. And then there's an Analytics and AI Summit as well on the 19th and 20th. This is not your typical industry event. There will be a tech expo, a small tech expo. As you can see, the Audi e-tron will be on display there, highlighting Amazon's in-car voice system. Lexus has a mixed reality holographic display. Digital Airstrike will be there, demoing Facebook Portal and Oculus Go. But look at the lineup here. I just mentioned Audi will be there. Amazon will be there. Ariane Walker. You'll have some of the manufacturers that are there. American Honda's there. Cardinal Group, Caterpillar, Ford Direct is there. So check it out. Go to autoconverse.com/TLS. Enter promo code ACTLS19 to get your 20% off registration by the end of this week. And if you do, and you'll be there and you register, I have a special offer for you. So just let me know that you did. And thank you to everyone that has already registered through AutoConversion. We appreciate that. It's definitely helped out our partnership. Just to close things out, as I mentioned, Dane Seville and Stefan Ferry, Dane from Reunion Marketing and Stefan from FlexDrive, were on last week. Thank you to those guys for our first doubleheader. That was a great couple of conversations. That podcast has been released. You can find it on Automotive B2B Strategies, and Hyundai partners with FlexDrive. And then 2 weeks ago, Dave Weber from Relay Cars was on, and that is now published up to AutoConverse. So if you are not subscribed to AutoConverse, get up there now and subscribe. And remember, you can always have the show sent to your phone. Just text the keyword AutoConverse to 64600, and we'll send it to you a few minutes before we go live. I'm Ryan Gerardi. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for those that stopped by and said hello while we were live. We're going to go ahead and take this offline. We'll see you. We may not have a show next week just because we kind of need a break, but we'll definitely be back on the 12th of June as well. Take care, everyone. Thank you.
Thanks, Ryan.